Okay, Jack, would you like to say that again? Scifi grinned, as she pulled out her comlink to take a video of him. What? Jack asked confusedly, as the others began laughing at his expense. Upon arriving home, the group had formed a loose circle around the collection of small tables they had pushed together in their living room, which were now mostly buried beneath an avalanche of takeaway boxes they had ordered. The others in the household were busy doing other things, leaving the group on their own to enjoy some food. The conversation eventually turned to how to further fix up their scraped-together shuttle, with Jack having a few inspired suggestions. "Oh, come on," Allura laughed. "You were talking about some of your bright ideas for the shuttle." "Yeah?" Jack asked hesitantly, eyes narrowing. "What exactly did you say we should attach to the bottom?" Scifi giggled, looking at Jack like he proposed growing a second head. "A huge cannon," he replied tersely, as the others tried in vain to hold their laughter at the ridiculousness of the suggestion. "We can have the shuttle flying over us in Overwatch, and we can throw a beacon or something for the shuttle to shoot an explosive payload over a specific location if we're on the ground, or simply shoot it while we're up in the sky." "Jack, there are so many things wrong with that idea," Nika snorted. "First of all, where the fuck are we going to get an insanely expensive gun of that caliber in the first place? Second, how are we even fitted on the bottom of the shuttle? Thirdly, if we can fit it on the bottom of the shuttle, how in the fuck do we even get the thing flying? The weight would sink us." "It's still a good idea," Jack argued stubbornly, thoroughly annoyed now. "Think about it, if we get ambushed we can just blow them up." "And ourselves in the process," Allura added. "Only if we fuck it up," Jack argued desperately. "Stratagems could work. Having a shitload of bombs we can drop, or some kind of huge cannon, would really help us out. We can totally fit something like that on." "Where the hell will we even get the bombs from?" Scifi asked, exasperated. "I don't know, we make them or something," Jack shrugged. "Lieutenant Scraffo taught us how to make thermite in chemistry. Pretty sure I still have the notes." "Okay, fair enough. That was a useful lesson," Nika conceded. "But there's no way we can drop thermite from up high reliably. Using it during a run might work, but only if we apply it effectively ourselves." "Like making a hole, cracking open a safe, or fucking something really expensive up." Scifi grinned at the imagination. "But no, we can buy grenades, but getting anything bigger that's also worthwhile would be difficult if not impossible. Not to mention way above our budget." "So no insane weapons attached to the shuttle," Allura finally concluded. "Any other ideas?" "Okay, hear me out," Jack began, as he gave an inspired grin. "Oh?" Allura raised her irises, thoroughly skeptical. "What about a killdozer?" "On a completely unrelated note, what is this food? It's really good," Jack exclaimed, very keen at this point to change the topic. He wasn't lying, though. The curry-like food they'd ordered wasn't particularly spicy by human standards, but it had some kind of sweet, deep aroma to it that made the tender vegetables unbelievably tasty when paired with the mashed fruit that came with it, which was fluffier than rice, but still went down the hatch well enough. "It's Kyokan," Chiyo answered, the Alethi having been quieter than usual on the way back to the house, clearly distracted by something. "Well, I'm not an idiot," he thought. "Something's clearly up with Chiyo, and I have a suspicion I know what it's about." Considering the topic, he figured he'd give her space before bringing it up discreetly later. Now clearly wasn't a good time. "Well, it tastes good," Jack grinned. "Definitely a curry of some kind, but nothing like the Indian stuff we used to get at home." "It's hard to make the sauce," Allura smiled, "but I'm glad you enjoy it." "Makes a change from pizza, at least," Chiyo quietly spoke up, slowly picking at her bowl. "Hey, plenty of choices at the cathedral," Scifi gently whispered to Chiyo. "Enough time to clear your head on the way, too." "I'll be fine," the Alethi tersely replied. "If you say so," Jack sighed, avoiding the temptation to pry. "So what do we want to bring for the trip?" Nika asked everyone, as the conversation died down. "It's not like it's a run," Allura pointed out, "but we do have some bounties on us. We can just go casual but armed, just in case." "Battle skins may still be a good idea," Chiyo cautioned, as she took a larger spoonful of the curry, clearly enjoying the meal despite her mood. "Armor, too." I don't disagree," Jack began, But they're hard to take off, and we're going to a place that apparently serves lots of alcohol.
Yes?
Allura asked. What about when we need to pee? He asked, just wanting to put it out there.
Jack!
Allura sighed, putting her head in her hands.
I mean, we could just take them off when we get there,
Scifi shrugged.
Most weapons are restricted anyway, so they have storage facilities.
I think that's the best solution, Allura agreed. But no armor when we're not on a job helps keep our identities murky. Is it safe to drop our guard over there? Jack asked. Definitely, Nika nodded. It gets loads of funding and it's one of the most popular party destinations around, so the security is top-notch. And the clerics of Delana have a sworn duty to keep the party going and keep the party-goers happy throughout so they can come again. Though the journey guarantees none of that, Chiyo warned. Quite true, Allura agreed, giving the Ilithi a quick glance of worry. We don't need to gear up too much, Nika noted. I'll leave my sniper rifle behind, and we also don't need as much outdoor gear for a well-travelled route.
We can buy stuff in a pinch anyway, Scifi shrugged. I'll pack one drone to use for Overwatch while we get out of the city.
I think I might as well leave the blunderbuss thingy behind, but I'll take one of the bows, Jack reasoned, referencing the stack of them the group had claimed from their somewhat recent harrowing run to the Shrine of Ithil. I'm pretty sure someone mentioned hunting wild game in the wilderness, and I suspect you can't do that with a plasma rifle.
True. It's not the best kind of cooked meat you can have,
Nika admitted with a chuckle. It may be useful to practice with it for future stealth missions, Chiyo reasoned. A bow is silent and doesn't produce any light, after all.
True, but you would need to aim and target well for that to work, Allura pointed out. A non-lethal hit and they raise the alarm.
What about using magic of some kind? Jack spoke up. Like what Spartawolf does with those glass knives he can launch. Maybe we can use some kind of silencing spell or something on the arrow.
Maybe,
Allura nodded thoughtfully,
though none of us are mages, and the ones we know probably can't manage something like that.
At least the mages we can trust, Nika pointed out.
What about that other idea you mentioned, Jack? Scifi asked. That thing you've been trying to make with the fabricator. Some kind of kinetic weapon, right? Didn't you say it was from some kind of human game you once played?
Yeah, Jack perked up excitedly. I think we can do it. Basically, it's like an air rifle that works with a pneumatic pump that can fire ball bearings. You just have to pump it full of air between every few shots. And this was from a game? Chiyo asked skeptically. Yeah, from the Metro series, Jack grinned. Great for a stealth run.
I mean, it could work,
Scifi shrugged, looking to Jack. You can summon ball bearings with your gauntlets, right? Yup, Jack grinned, quickly making some appear in his palm with the clan Basm sigil etched in every one of them.
Are you able to share them with the rest of us?
Allura asked thoughtfully.
I know proximity can be an issue with some of the other things you can summon.
When we were robbing the Shaskazaki warehouse, we did have to separate over long distances, Chiyo pointed out. And that's not to mention the potential firing range of the weapon.
Then we add that to the list of things we need to field test, Nika shrugged. Assuming the concept works in reality and you're able to make it, of course.
Yeah, Jack admitted. I'm no Colin Furs, but I might be able to pull it off with a bit of trial and error. At the moment, I'm focusing on making the stock and barrel, but that's the easy part. No idea how to make the action for it. That's the super complicated part. Well, at least you have time to research it during the holidays, Chiyo added.
Really, Chiyo?
Scifi snorted as she rolled her eyes.
Why don't you always have to suggest doing nerd shit? Come on, you need to switch off once in a while, especially tonight.
I suppose you're not wrong. Chiyo let out a sad smile.
Ah, don't worry,
Scifi sighed, playfully ruffling the Ilithi's hair.
A trip to the damn Cathedral of Merriment? We'll make a party girl out of you yet.
Can't wait, Chiyo deadpanned. Hey, it's not so bad researching stuff during the holidays, if it's fun, Jack shrugged, not wanting to put Chiyo down when she was clearly not feeling great. Speaking of weaponry, we seem to have forgotten I found 2 full magazines at the prefect's lockup that probably belonged to an assault rifle. I'd sure love to know the story behind that, Nika grinned. And if there's a gun that goes with it. Pretty annoying it wasn't there when you looked, Jack.
Nothing on the data I pulled says anything about it, Scifi shrugged. I did manage to get a few other locations in and around the city, though. Might not be worth us checking most of them out, but I can always sell the data.
I mean, we'll have a working shuttle we'll need to test out at some point, Jack grinned. Could test it out with a heist. Of what? Office supplies? Nika snorted. Why not? Jack asked. The money we gained on the last run was good, but it won't last forever, and earning it was tough. Why not earn some money that's safer? You want to do a milk run? Scifi asked. But those are boring. Sure didn't feel like a milk run when I had to avoid those robots, Jack cautioned with a snort. Though now at least we can probably just shoot through them.
Well, we still need to put on the finishing touches and make sure the shuttle actually flies first, Allura cautioned with a giggle. But it's a good idea to make sure everything works before we end up having to put it through its paces.
Well, if we ever get bored during the holiday, we can do that, Nika shrugged with a resigned smile. The rest of you definitely need to get used to using those ascenders without throwing up like you did last time. Hey, I didn't either, Jack argued. That's true, but it was a very near thing for the both of us, the Kizzen chuckled. But I've calibrated them to have different settings to make the ride smoother for us going up or down, though we can still do a hot extract like last time if we need to. Projectile vomit isn't a very good way of departing without a trace, Chiyo agreed, looking up to take a second helping of the alien curry. And not a good conversation while we're eating. True, Scifi nodded. Well, hopefully we won't have that again, but the ability to haul bags of loot up into the sky? We're going to need to clear some space. That's another task for the holidays, Allura agreed. Fixing up home some more. I know we've been doing little bits at a time as and when we can, but I think we can make a lot of progress, especially when we can use the shuttle to lift up the heavier bits. Like a landing area for the shuttle? Jack asked, since right now it hasn't exactly moved since we crashed it here. We can clear some land for that, yes, Allura nodded. Perhaps we can ask the squawk car to harden the ground for us, if we think it's necessary. I mean, it probably isn't for a small thing like that. Nika shrugged. Maybe we can just mark the area instead while we're out, so we don't accidentally squish a housemate. Assuming we can land the thing properly, Scifi pointed out. To be honest, as long as we don't crash into the house and tell everyone to get out of the way, we're probably good. What about our crops? Allura asked the Skritter, giving her the look. What? Saves you time ploughing, Scifi retorted, with a shit-eating grin. Alright, what else are we getting up to then? Jack asked. I believe Chiyo wanted to check out a lead she was researching outside of the city. You mean the old regulator base? Chiyo asked, and Jack was happy to see her briefly perk up at him, remembering. Yes, that's quite doable. I have worked out a general area to look around, but it's further away from the city, so not the best place to test the shuttle for a maiden voyage. But if the engine works and has enough power to take us there, then we might as well take a look, Allura agreed with a nod. There's no time constraints on that at least. I mean, if there's a chance for loot, then sure, why not? Scifi grinned. Well, apart from that, we could do with another shopping trip to one of the malls, Nika grinned. And we need to bring the others along too, since Jack needs to decorate his room, and hasn't got any taste. Hey! Jack snorted. Plus, I think a few of us want to show you some of our favourite parts of the city, Allura smirked in a daring way Jack had rarely seen from the Eladri. Well, I'm sure we can talk about it later. We should really get an early night. Nika finally sighed, as the last of the Kyokan was carefully divided up between them. We're getting up early tomorrow, and I'd rather not travel through the city dead tired again, especially after that hellish game of Death Ball. Sounds good to me, Jack agreed with a nod. Yep, even I can't last much longer, Scifi concurred. By the way, on the subject of tomorrow, I ought to mention that I took the liberty of inviting Renna for the trip, if she wants to come along with Nia. Allura casually spoke up. Several sounds of cutlery clattering on plates quickly followed. Fuck that! Scifi yelled with disgust. Why would you do that, Allura? Nika sighed. We want to have a fun time and celebrate. Well, I thought it would be a good gesture of peace at the student council meeting, Allura argued. I mean, it was meant to be a trip with the Death Ball team after winning against Luvia, but got pushed back due to Kisrith and Arlox, Jack pointed out tentatively. And we don't exactly get along with her. Why not invite the Drow while you're at it? I was just being polite, Allura sighed. Besides, news has spread and we're going to get some hangers-on anyway, so what does it matter? Renna's not a bad person, and we're friends with Nia. It makes sense to try and get to know her better. We know her well enough, Scifi retorted, doing her best impression of the Volster. Your uniform is slightly untidy. That's a reprimand for you. You're loitering in the corridors, so I'll inform the teachers and get you put in detention. You want to talk back? How dare you? She's a stuck-up cunt, Nika bluntly added. I feel sorry for Vanya having her as their class representative, even if they get Mr. Sparrow as a form tutor. Remember when we fought the drow? Jack asked. She did nothing to them, but went and ranted on us instead. I'm sorry, Allura butted in, raising a hand to try and calm everyone down. I didn't mean to go over everybody's heads, but it wouldn't be the first time! Everyone's head snapped around to Chiyo at the unexpected forcefulness of the statement, the Ilithi giving the Eladri a hard glare, as Allura's eyes widened with surprise. Nobody spoke for a moment, until Chiyo got to her feet. I am sorry. I need some fresh air, she politely told them, before quickly floating away, not looking at them. Chiyo, Allura called out in surprised shock, eyes wide. Nika sighed deeply and slightly rolled her eyes, while Jack was simply confused. Still, all made to get up and follow. Sit, Scifi told them all, with an unusually firm tone, picking up her and Chiyo's food. I'll go, don't follow me. Dante, wanna come with? Woof, Dante softly barked, immediately standing up and coming to heel by the Skritter, as she quickly followed after Chiyo, leaving Jack, Nika, and Allura on their own. That went well? Nika grunted, her voice dripping with sarcasm.